Alright, so here we are. We're going to talk about the Unit 5 assessment. Okay? What we want to do is we want to apply what we've learned in the first 4 sections or so of the outline. And here's how we're going to do it. Okay? What you're going to do is you're going to you're going to try to talk a little bit about protocols. There's a little bit of medium involved with it. You're going to look at some addressing items. A little bit here, maybe not so much here, and a little bit on web pages. So we want to use an example to verify those things. Okay? Start. We're going to start out with, you're going to have a device. Okay, and whatever device you're using, it could be a phone, could be a laptop, it could be a computer at your house, in a lab, or whatever. Okay, so you're going to have a device, and what you're going to want to do is explain the process of that device communicating to a website. Okay, and you're going to do it. You're going to do it using text. Okay, so you're going to explain this process, and you're going to use text. You can use any type of images. And when I say images, you could draw it out. You could literally draw it out and paste the image into a document. So you can text, images. If you want to use voice or video, you just want to talk about it, voice or video, you could do that. That would be a little trickier, and then you'd make a link to that in some type of document. Okay, but you're going to go through the process. Okay, I'll give you the details of what you actually need to have. Okay, you would need to have you need to submit some type of a document that would have the information, either all of it in there, or there'd be some links in there that would get us to the information we need. If you want to put it on your website, you can, but that'd be up to you. So we'll have some link that you're going to post in a, you'll post it in a posting that'll be under the assessment folder. Okay, and then you'll comment after you post on somebody else's. So remember, other people, you're going to attach this when you post, and other people will see it. I think 1 to 2 pages would be more than enough. Okay, so you want to be very to the point and make sure it's well documented. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to look at it, make sure it's documented so I can figure out what it is, and then I'm going to glance through and see if you touch upon some items in talking about how your device communicated to the website and how it communicated back. All right. We're going to look to see if you mention protocols at all. Okay? And maybe you could see what the bandwidth is, where you're connecting to. Protocols is really only TCP, IP, Ethernet, or your Wi-Fi protocol that you're using. Are you connected, your device, are you connected through a wire, through wireless, or the way outside chance fiber optic, but not likely? So you're going to go through the outline and then just mention, okay, network end devices. Network end devices, that would be your device on one end, whatever it is, okay, and then on the other end will be a server, a web server, okay? And then what intermediate devices do you think are in between there? This is just more. So that shouldn't be hard getting that initial items figured out. And then from this section, we're going to cover 4 of the sections. From this section, you should be able to give us the physical address of your device, the IP address, okay? And here we talk a little bit about protocol. You really won't need much of this in your explanation, okay? But I do want to see a fair amount done with the addressing. So here's what you can do with that addressing. give the address of your device, and then see if you can figure out when it gets translated. Your device is going to communicate to an intermediate device, okay? Some intermediate device. Here's your device. If it's Wi-Fi, it's connecting to an intermediate device. You should be able to tell me what that device is. And then see if you can list the private address on your side, and then there's a way to go to the internet and figure out what public address you have on the outside. You want to mention this is the URL that you used, and that URL somewhere in there has a domain name. Okay? And see if then you can get an IP address for that domain name. And if you can't find one little part, I would just move on. Okay? So we've got the addressing, and I'm going to pull this up here a little bit. On this page, there wouldn't be too much. I want you to see if you can sketch the logical picture from your device to that web server. And you can pick any web server you want from your device. Okay? Maybe you'll mention what you're using, or what parts of your diagram are LAN, or which parts of LAN. And then for sure, how are you connected? You'll be connected one of these three ways. More than likely. There's an outside chance you could be connected here. Okay? Page. And then here's the last thing we want you to just be aware of. From here, see if you can draw from the World Wide Web. See if you can get a little bit of the HTML from the site you contacted. Okay? And can you figure out which ISP you are working from? Okay, so your device, which ISP it's on. And maybe can you find the ISP that the web server is on? Or at least educated guess. If you don't get those, that's not the end of the world, but see if you can think through that a little bit. Or at least talk through it briefly. And I said briefly. So there's really not much from this page we really need to worry about. Nah, we're pretty. Don't worry about 5.5, but what we can do is I can give you some little pointers here to finish up. So, whoops. Okay. All right, some pointers to finish up. So what you want to do is you just want to, and if you just want to type it all, just pure text, if you feel more comfortable doing that, you're going to create a document, and that document is going to, you're going to put some specifics in there, and I don't want you to spend a ton of time. If you're not so sure about something, but what you want to do is you want to go from some device, and how, when you do something on that device that allows you to communicate to a server via the web, and you can go anywhere. You can go to Facebook, you can go to Google, you can go, there's obviously unbelievable. And then how does that server send the information? How does it get back to you? And you want to put it as much as you can in your own language, but I want you to see if you can get some IP addresses here and here if you can. And then, explain the idea that you got to go through an ISP. This device has to somehow connect to another intermediate device. Then how does it go from that intermediate device to the server? Can you see if you can clarify that by just having gone through the major part of Chapter 5? Okay. Now remember, to finish up, I'll look at this. So I'm going to look at, is it clear? Is it clear, your explanation? Okay. And it'd be nice to have a diagram if you can. Okay. But if you want to just explain it in all text, don't want to take the time for any kind of diagram, that would be acceptable. Clear and well documented. Okay. So that would be one of the 3 points. And then did you items on outline? How well did you address those 4 items? You know, so they're all like a half a point each, and that gives the other 2 points. So this for Unit 5, 3 points. Your posting is 1 point, and your outline is 6 points. And that gives us our 10. Okay? So the objective here is for you to see if you can explain, after going through that first part of Chapter 5, how this really happens. And then you will do a post for that. Plus you'll post for your outline work. And that's it.